Welcome to Cooking with Bob Wald. I am your host, Bob Wald. Today, we are going to bake a cake. But before we do that, we must rigorously define what a cake is. Almost everyone assumes that cakes must be three-dimensional. But this is a totally unnecessary restriction. There is no reason one cannot bake a cake in 6 dimensions. A cake is clearly and much more naturally a vector in an n-dimensional vector space. The basis vectors of this space are the elements of the cake. You're usually taught that these are the ingredients. Let me draw an example. One could take a 2-dimensional cake, 2 basis vectors, where the basis elements are eggs and flour. In fact, one could even bake a cake in 1 dimension, made of just eggs. Recall, a cake is a vector, so it is completely basis independent. That is, in practice, one can bake a cake out of any ingredients. Note, however, that this basis, once chosen, is non-commutative. One cannot bake the ingredients first and then mix them together. We demonstrated this explicitly in the last episode. Anyway, this is a good point to pause and ask if anyone has any questions. With this new formalism, we are fully prepared to study the process of making a cake. For this, we will use the obvious approach, differential geometry. For this, we will need to define the concept of a manifold. Now, for those of you who don't know, a manifold looks quite like this. But before we talk about manifolds, we must preheat the oven. As usual, we must wait an infinite amount of time for the oven to reach thermal equilibrium.